first of all, sorry about that. I think I had one person on live before I disconnected. Oh my goodness. So, hi and hello. Welcome back. I know. I was like feeling hot all of a sudden, so I'm just taking off my sweater. Oh my gosh, I haven't been on camera in a minute, so I gotta get used to lifestyle again. Usually when I'm filming, you guys know like how it is when you're filming. It's kind of like, okay, we're editing, we're like moving around. I can feel free to kind of do whatever. But now I'm like, I'm live and I'm here with you guys. And it's just a lot more real time, literally real time. And just straight to the point, here we are, which is what I love about live videos. It's just that it's been a minute. So, you guys, I went through, which I had announced in previous videos, what I was looking forward to, my own personal new year. I did share with you guys that there was a lot of things that I was kind of doing before my birthday, which I just celebrated my birthday, April 15th. So, I just always treat the new year as kind of like my last little, I guess period of time, that like 3 month period of time to kind of wrap up certain things, get certain things taken care of and figured out before I kind of enter my own personal new year. So I'm not 30 yet. Yes, I'm not 30 yet. But it was a great birthday, and it actually got inspired to make this video and like discuss this topic on my channel because of my friends and the conversations that we were having. And I love my friends. I love women in general. I love my girlfriends. I love getting together and just like talking about all of the things, relationships and life, and how we feel about certain things going on in the world right now, about men. Obviously we're going to talk about men. Obviously, I mean, what girl is gonna like get together with their girlfriends and not talk about like men, relationships? It's like our favorite topic. So I was meeting up with my friends, and we were all celebrating, and I have a couple of girlfriends that also have April birthdays, so we're chit-chatting, and it's just been, well, anyway, it's been a really wonderful birthday. Absolutely feeling so blessed and so abundant and just so grateful for everything, first off. Second off, yeah, we were just discussing these things, and it definitely made me kind of like stop and think, and kind of pause, because what I realized is, and I'm gonna also preface this with saying I am a nerd, okay? I am a nerd when it comes to like women's health, and like I'm obsessed with like learning about cycle syncing and like a woman's body and how to live in alignment and like feminine energy, feminine essence things. Of course, you saw how I titled this video. And on this channel, we are all about talking about feminine energy, the feminine essence, and all of those things. And just like, what is that? What does that mean? And what are we experiencing? Like, if you relate to me, if you relate to any of the content on this channel, then you know what I mean. Try to just basically, as I continue to grow and learn and like level up in this journey with you guys, I kind of am just bringing you along with me, right? So anything that I'm learning, anything that I, any breakthroughs that I've had, any information that I feel like is worth sharing, or relating to like our current times and different things that are going on that I feel are things that other women, either my age or my same life circumstances, whatever the case may be, can relate to. I bring it to y'all on this channel because that is just what I feel like we need in this space on YouTube, and that's also just a passion of mine naturally. This is what I do naturally, like with my girlfriends. This is what I do with my sister. This is what I do like just in general. So I just feel like it's worthwhile to see if I can put my little sprinkle, put my little razzle dazzle in there, put my little 2 cents in there. So anyway, all that to say, hopefully this video serves gives you a little bit of insight, or just makes you kind of like consider embodiment and feminine energy and feminine essence in a different way, or anything anything, honestly, anything positive, it works for me. Anything positive that you gain from this video. But basically, what we were talking about is, of course, all of those things that I just mentioned, right? Typical girl stuff. But what caught me off guard was the fact that I had two friends do this, two friends, in the course of like a week. And it really got me to thinking, because I was like, okay, well, we are living in a time where feminine energy and like femininity and those terms specifically are being used in so many different ways on social media. There's so many different messages coming out. And I can see how, to somebody who, you know, who doesn't basically like I told you guys, I'm a nerd, who doesn't like delve in head first and like study like what it is that these people mean when they say XYZ, ABC. What really is this stuff, you know? Because it's not just putting on lipstick and like putting on a dress and going out and like, I don't even know what people are saying these days about femininity. I don't even know. Or hyper femininity. That's another term that we were talking about. So basically, I had two friends do this thing where they were talking about another friend of mine, and they used the word feminine to describe her, which she is very feminine. Of course, she's a very feminine essence, like woman, I guess, physically. Like if you look at her, the way that she presents herself, the way that she talks, her mannerisms, I guess that's a better way of putting it. And I don't know, like, to be honest, I don't see any of my friends as being masculine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the term feminine and the term masculine, it has been made to seem as like these black and white things, and that's absolutely not true. You know, it really is, and I think for me, like, and even for me, like, I've had to grow in my understanding of what does all of this boil down to, right? There's no such thing as a woman who is never going to use her masculine, never going to use her masculine energy, or, you know, be in her masculine state of being. That does not exist, okay? It is a continuum. It is just like energy, like water. It flows. There's going to be those ebbs and flows. You are not going to go your entire day without being in your a masculine, or I should say, a more masculine state at any one point in time. Driving, for instance. I'm not going to be so in my feminine that I'm not going to, like, if I was 100% in my feminine, I would not be able to drive. I would literally crash and burn. I would not be able to drive. You have to be able to be in your masculine to some capacity, right? To be able to understand, okay, time, distance, gauging, okay, you know, can I go? Am I gonna wait? Am I gonna let this person, you know, go? Okay, how much should I step on the gas? Should I, you know, all of those very like logical, like very like tangible, actionable things, you know, mindsets, mind frame and mindsets that we have. That is being in your masculine. Okay, so there's no such thing as like a woman who is just masculine. Same thing, you're not gonna go your whole day as a, well, and men too. Men also exercise their feminine state of being and their their feminine energy as well. We are human beings. We are not just all one thing. So that's another thing. Seeing the feminine and the masculine more as a continuum and not as like a black or a white. Like you're either feminine or you're masculine, and that's it. Like that is not true. So hopefully that's making sense as I'm trying to like explain it. And for me, like I've had to learn all of this as well. I will say I don't watch a lot of like femininity content anymore. I have found a few trusted sources that I kind of continue to learn from, but at this point, I feel like my understanding of like feminine energy in accordance to me and like me becoming my best self, I feel like I'm more so looking into like different aspects of how to live in alignment, which is what we talk about here on this channel, living in alignment. Because as I mentioned to you before, being feminine is more than just putting on your lipstick and a really cute hyper feminine outfit and going out here and talking with your little high-pitched voice and being all dainty. That's not femininity, okay? So that is literally, I mean, that, like, And I know, like, when we were kids, like, we would say, oh, we're girly girls. Oh, I'm a girly girl. Like, I like pink and I like purple and, like, I'm a girly girl. You know, that, I remember, like, I used to say that. Like, me and my little friends, you know, growing up, we would say that. Like, and I am a girly girl. Like, look, I love all that stuff. Fashion, beauty, hair, makeup, all that stuff. I'm a girly girl. Girls girl, all that. Well, I guess there's a difference between being a girly girl and being a girl's girl. We're not getting into that right now, but you get what I'm saying, okay? And just because you are all made up, hair, makeup, outfit, everything, you know, girly, right? You could be all look as feminine as you think you want to look and still be in your masculine and operating from a position of being predominantly in your masculine. Of course, you're not going to be 100% in your masculine, right? But if you're operating, let's say, like I mentioned before, it's energy, it's a continuum. You're gonna not be, there's no black and white when it comes to this. But let's say you're maybe operating more so like 70% in your masculine, right? You're taking charge, you're calling the shots, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. But you still have that 30% feminine to where, you know, you are, again, these are energetics. These are not just physical attributes. I hope this is making sense. So, like at work, for instance, like I can be operating in my masculine. I can be doing this job, completing this task, letting these people know, hey, XYZ, ABC needs to be done, making sure, you know, everybody's doing what they need to do, things are in place, blah, 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 blah. And then I can turn around, and you guys know I'm in education, so there's a lot of masculine and feminine, you know, ebb and flow energy going in. And there's a little kid that's crying, right? When I turn, there's a little boy that's crying, a little girl that's crying. She scraped her knee. And I have to be able to go, oh my goodness, you hurt yourself. You know, I got to be able to go into more of my feminine, right? At the drop of a hat, in an instant. And I have to be able to say, oh my goodness, like that must hurt. I'm so sorry you got hurt. What happened? Be able to clean her up, give him or her a hug, okay? And send them on their way. Getting into that nurturing vibe, getting into that, like, you know, okay, that's that feminine essence, feminine energy part of you that's nurturing, that wants to take care of, right? All of that. So, and then be able to switch back to my masculine and delegate and manage, okay? So that's just one example. This is not a black and white thing. So I went into kind of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the energies, right? And I did not go into this with my friends at the time, but I was just listening, right? I was listening, and we were talking about this friend. Back to the story, right? We were talking about this mutual friend of ours who they both said, and these are two separate encounters, they described this girl as feminine, and she's a great friend of mine, love her to pieces, okay? And she is. I can genuinely say, like, the way that she presents herself, I can absolutely see how someone would describe her as being a feminine woman or hyper feminine. She's beautiful, but she puts a lot of effort into her appearance. You know, she doesn't just show up anyhow. Like, she always looks, you know, her best. And I admire that about her a lot. But it just let me know that, oh, you know, we're saying, okay, well, that's what it means to be really feminine. Or that's what it means to be feminine, or that's what it means to be hyper feminine. And that let me know that, number one, they don't understand it. These friends of mine, great people, awesome women, everybody's on their own journey, but that let me know right there, they actually don't understand it. And what I realized is we are all using the same terminologies, but have completely different understandings of what they mean. We are living in a world where there's so many people, there's so many women on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube talking about femininity, feminine essence, how to be feminine, how to be a feminine energy woman, how to activate your feminine energy. And I feel like it's become so copy paste because it's just regurgitating the same information, which is why I don't watch those videos and I don't listen to that content. Oh my goodness, even worse, which one of my friends who I was talking about, who was describing this friend of mine as feminine, she said to me, because she watches this guy for dating advice and like I don't even know what he talks about. I think he's one of those men basically who gives advice to women on how to be feminine, and how to date, and like all of this like dating advice, right? And like he basically tries to help women date who are single to date and meet, men, great men, good men, I guess, whatever. And I know that he's like on that vibe. He is not a straight man, nothing wrong with that. But however, I'm not taking advice from any man on how to be feminine or what it means to be embodied in my feminine. There is absolutely nothing that a man, I don't care what sexuality you are, can teach me about that. I'm a natural born woman, and that's my stance on it. I can't listen to what a man has to say about anything about femininity or what women need to do or not do, because they've never been a woman in a relationship with a man. You know what I mean? You may be a man, and I'm not saying that men can't provide good insight, because they can. And I do love, one of the YouTubers I do love, I'm totally name dropping in this video, but I do love Mindful Attraction 2.0. Yes, he's a little toxic, I know, but he's entertaining, number one, he's funny. And number two, he kind of does, I mean, there's some things I'm kind of like, okay, nah, forget it. I'm pretty sure even he is a feminine energy course. I'm not listening to nobody, no man talking about no feminine energy. But in his case, there's certain things that he does talk about that I can vouch and say like, okay, he's legit, he's good for that, And that's the thing with, YouTubers and just any type of person who's in a position where they have a platform and they're speaking on something. Even me, like, of course me, but anybody, right? You've got to be able to kind of like take what you can from it and then leave the rest. You know what I mean? It's not everything that everybody says is that it's going to relate to you or resonate with you. Okay? That's just another little tidbit. But basically, back to the topic, right? So what I realized about this friend of mine is that we have two completely different ideas or understandings of what femininity and feminine essence mean. Of course, there's like that traditional kind of surface level feminine look. Of course, we know this. But just because you don't look typical feminine look all the time doesn't mean that you are not feminine. You know what I mean? Which is why I don't like using that as an adjective to describe women who look like that. Because you could be wearing jeans that day, you know what I mean? And be a very embodied feminine energy, feminine essence woman. And your embodiment is so attractive. We've all met those women where they're just embodied in it. They're not telling you, oh, I'm a feminine woman and oh, I only do this and I only like this and this is how I blah, 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 blah. They're not telling you any of that. They're not telling you anything about anything. They probably, some of them, that's just how they are. They don't even know about half of these YouTube people and all what social media is talking about, when it comes to feminine energy and femininity. And like I said, like I am very selective with any type of content like that I watch these days, because there's so much garbage out there. And you have so many women, back to the point, you have so many women today who are trying to follow this advice. They're trying to, understand feminine energy and femininity and all these things, but they're getting little tidbits on TikTok, and they're getting little tidbits on Instagram, and they're getting little tidbits on, most of them are on YouTube, let's be honest. YouTube, if you made it to, this is 19 minutes in this live, if you made it this long and you are a YouTube person, then you're probably, I'm not even kidding right now, you're probably the type of person who, you are a lot probably more, first of all, your attention span is longer, which leads me to think and believe, this is what I believe, that you have a higher emotional intelligence, because when you see a lot of people with these short attention spans and they're kind of like getting these like little hits of information, it's hits of information, it's TikTok, it's Reels, it's, all of these different little tidbits of information, and they're trying to piece it together, and what they're coming up with is, oh, femininity is a look. Femininity is having this type of voice, or saying this, or getting this. not it. Not it. And what I realized is there's so many women out there that are using a lot of these same terms, a lot of the terms that, you know, other YouTubers have made popular, and, you know, that are just trending right now, you know, in this whole femininity space. And they just don't have any embodiment whatsoever. They don't have a clear understanding of what it is that they're saying. I'm gonna name drop, and I've been holding it in for the last, I'm gonna say probably 15 minutes of this video, but I have to say this because this is a really good example as well. And like when I was talking about my friends, love them, they're awesome. We're all at different journeys of our understanding of this, and I think one thing I do want to point out is the fact that the fact that you're even willing to try, that you're even willing to put in any effort and energy to understand more of who you naturally are. Because for me, it wasn't ever that I wasn't embodied in my feminine. I actually have always been very, like, I've always, because we're women, it's inside of us. This is who we naturally are. But the problem is being conditioned in society and different messaging and programming, you know, throughout the years that have changed us. And so what it is unlearning. It is an unlearning. It is a deconditioning process to come back to who we truly are, who God truly made us to be, our true essence, our true being, right? And to understand that it's not wrong. Because I think a lot of the times when we were growing up in this, like, just very, basically, this is countercultural information. When you get into it, it's very deep. And like I said before, it is more than lipstick. It is more than talking in a high-pitched voice and wearing your dresses and all that. Now, I said I was going to name drop. Okay, Shira 7, love me some Shira 7. Love her. And I'll tell you why I love her. Because she acts like the older sister and the older aunt that I always wanted that I never had. I've learned so much from her. I don't watch her videos as much anymore. Sometimes I still will because, you know, she's funny and she's just fun to watch. The problem with what has happened, because I started watching her back in 2017, okay? So this ain't nothing new for me. But the problem with what has happened as she's kind of gained in popularity over the years is people have taken a lot of the concepts that she teaches, a lot of the terms that she uses, they've taken it, they've morphed it into their own thing. They basically piggybacked and like changed around her whole message. They have really just kind of I won't say taken away from it because I think like she's actually just helped so many people, but men and women, okay, women and men, okay, because men have definitely, I believe that, you know, a lot of men be watching her channel and they may be hating, but they're still learning, and she says that all the time too. But what I realized is like the term dusty, for example, the term pick me, for another example. Love is Blind. Don't know if y'all watched the latest season, but, you know, we saw Miss Sarah Ann. And we saw, what's her name, Laura. Okay, Laura calling her a pick-me. Okay, now everybody want to talk about being a pick-me. Oh, don't be a pick-me. But what even is a pick-me, right? So she is the one who coined that term. That is her term, right? So you see other people saying it. You see things getting mixed up. Women, and when I say women are not embodied, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Class A example with Sarah Ann. Okay, Sarah Ann was absolutely acting like a pick-me. However, she's going to turn around at the reunion and say, I'm not a pick-me, you're a pick-me, to Laura. How is Laura a pick? Like, not to say that Laura didn't make her own mistakes, okay? Look, I'm not here to say that there's any innocent person in that whole situation. But that is neither here nor there. We're not even going to get into that. Not today. But for her to just sit there and literally turn it back around and say, oh, well, I'm not a pick-me, you're a pick-me. She doesn't know what the heck a pick-me is. She's going around, she's throwing this term right back at her. She doesn't even know what a pick-me is. She just knows she's offended by it, right? You have a lot of women just like saying things, but not actually being embodied in the thing, or not even having a clear understanding of what it is that they're actually saying. They just know that it's a like pop culture term or popular term right now, they don't have any, and definitely no embodiment, but a lot of the times not even any real understanding. Another example, you have beautiful Jess. Beautiful Jess. Love is Blind. If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it. When I tell you this girl is beautiful, she's beautiful, okay? She looks like a freaking model. It really made me sad to see her pretty much try to beg and convince Jimmy to choose her. So, was she being a pick me? I would go ahead and say absolutely yes. But even more so, she continued to she said things, right? Like she said things, but didn't act on certain things that she was saying. She said, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to sit here, when he was literally rejecting her in the pods. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to, basically, I'm not going to chase you, right? As she continues to chase him, give him a letter that she apparently had written for her future husband, basically begging him, please choose me, because I want you to be my husband so bad. So just choose me. Here you go. You already get like everything that I want to give my husband. It's already yours. Here you go. And he's still sitting over there like, I don't know. I like her, but I like this other girl more. But I don't know. But I'm a mess. A mess. She says, I'm not going to chase you, yet continues to chase. And this is, I feel like this is actually like a deeper issue as well. I know I've actually come to think of it, I've fallen into this a little bit as well, at certain times. But that's what leveling up is all about, and especially that mental level up and just that emotional intelligence. Getting to that point where you are becoming so self-aware and you are becoming so just like conscious, your consciousness is growing, that you can almost see yourself like you can see the potential downfall before you even make the mistake. Does that make sense? Like, and I think like for me, like it has been a continuous growth kind of journey and like spectrum. And I can definitely say like I have been there where I say one thing, but like I'm not exactly like walking the walk. Like I'm talking the talk, but I may not exactly be walking the walk. And one of that is the key. That is literally what the title of this video, what we are talking about today, embodiment. Embodiment is the key. Embodiment will set you apart. I think I mentioned it before. I've met women, and I feel like we've all met women who don't even have to say a thing. They do not have to say a word to you about being feminine, femininity, what her husband does for her, what her kids do for her, how her family treats her, how her friend, nothing. You meet her, you sense like the energy that she has, the embodiment that she has, you already know what it is. It's like her energy of the thing, of just that mentality, of just how she carries herself, how she presents herself, how she speaks, what she allows herself to be drawn into energetically, what she like this is what I love about human interaction and communication. I was a communication major in college, and one of the major things that we learned was that 90%, over 90% actually, of all communication is nonverbal between human beings. And boy, oh boy, we know that that's true, don't we? So when your energy precedes you, when your embodiment precedes you, that's when you're going to start hearing people say things like, oh no, we can't do that. We can't have, she can't have this. She has to go to this restaurant. Like we can't go to such and such place with her. We have to go to like a nicer place, a better place. Did you ever say anything was wrong with any restaurant? Did they ever hear you say, oh, I don't eat blah, 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 blah thing? No, but it's because of you. It's because of your embodiment. It's because your standards are embodied. It's because you know who you are. Your value, you know who you are. Your everything is embodied, okay? It's just the same as, a man saying, like, it's so crazy because as I've grown in this, I've literally had men say things to me that I have mentally said to myself a million times, just in my embodiment practice, in my level up journey, and just like my feminine energy, feminine essence, like growth journey and experience. So many things. Well, I won't say so many. It's a lot of the same things, but from different people. But the same things being said to me. And it's like, okay, I didn't have to say a word. But because of how I am just in my being, I am embodied. So that is communicating everything that needs to be communicated. We talk a lot on this channel. Well, we talk about all of these things on this channel, but we also talk about, how it's just beneficial, period, for you as a woman to be with a man who is a provider. And that doesn't just mean financially, but a man who is, yes, financially a provider, but just wants to be that provider protector in your life. It's better for him and his health. It's better for you. Your health is better for your family unit. It's better for your life. It's better for your relationship. It's better for polarity and attraction. It's just better. It's better. It's the best decision for you, for your future children. It's better. It's better. And literally, like, that is something that I feel like I've met women, and granted, I think part of this is it is you and it is your embodiment. It's also the type of man that you're dealing with, because a man has to also like have the right mindset and value that and see the importance of that, of what it means to be a provider and all of that. But I think that there's women that are so embodied, right? So embodied in what they know they deserve, so embodied in their standards, so embodied in their feminine, that they do not even have to say anything to these men that they're meeting and they're dating. They already know, like, if I want to be with this woman, I gotta come correct. I gotta come with everything. I cannot be skipping a beat here. I got to be on my P's and Q's, and I gotta know that I need to take care of her. She's just that caliber of woman. That's just who she is. She's not gonna accept anything less, and it is what it is. And if I can't do that, I'm gonna bow out gracefully now. And I think like I've gotten to the point, at least now, where, well, I've definitely countless times, I have definitely encountered plenty of men who I could tell that they were attracted to me, but they would not even talk to me. Like, they would not even, it wasn't gonna happen. And God only knows why. I don't know. I don't go approaching men. I don't go out approaching men unless, not to like talk to them in a romantic or like interested kind of way, but of course, like just being friendly, out and about, whatever. But that has definitely happened to me like several times in my life. And you just never know. You just never know. But I think that definitely like there's just that embodiment, like that you can get into that space and you can be so embodied that people see you, they feel your vibe, your energy, they see, like, they just feel your energy and embodiment. It precedes you. They feel it before they even get a chance to really like meet you. And they're already gonna kind of have these notions, have these ideas about you. And then as they continue to talk to you, you may not say, hey, I'm looking for a provider. Hey, I'm looking to get married. Hey, I need this, I need that. But because of the way that you carry yourself and because of how you are interacting with them, they're adding it all up and they're saying, this girl, she's not a one-night stand. This girl, if I'm just looking to have a good time, I can't be with this girl. Like, I can't, she's not the one. Okay, moving on next, if that's what you're looking for. Or, you're gonna have to change things up if you like her like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, this video went on and on and on. I hope you guys are kind of like getting my message about embodiment. I realized this, and I also realized that I said it a million times in this video that the information is, kind of lacking for a lot of people and a lot of women that are trying to get into a lot of this information. But embodiment is honestly, I think, the key. Information is good. And I think for me, like when I first found Shira's channel and I first started learning about a lot of these things, I started reading books, all of these things. I was basically the type of person who I would just kind of regurgitate the same information. It would be in one ear and like out my mouth, in the other ear, out my mouth, in this ear, out my mouth, and I just bugged the heck out of my friends and my family. Bugged the heck out of them because I wouldn't shut up about it. I was so like, it's like finding a makeup product that you love and you're like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. You have to try it out. It's gonna look so good on you. Like, here, you gotta have this. Like, it's so amazing. Here, like, it was like that. Like, I just had to tell all the women in my life the things that I was learning because I finally understood what it meant, like what self-love meant, and I finally understood like, men and women and polarity and how we're so different and how to make a relationship actually work and like because I felt like for my entire life like I was missing so many pieces of just like, how can I grow as a woman and how can I be my best and have my best life and be in my best health and be happy in my relationship. And like, I wanted it all, right? I want the money. I want the love. I want the family. I want the friends. I want the lifestyle. Like, I want everything. I've always been that way. And it's so funny because I was actually just having dinner with my mom and my sister tonight. And we were talking, my mom, she was joking around saying, oh, you're rich girls. You guys talk like rich girls because my sister, yeah, she is a rich girl and she's always been a rich girl in her mind and in her heart. And I mean, so have I, but she was listening to us and our conversations and, we're just talking about like bougie girl stuff, right? Like cold pressed juices and we're talking about like ordering deliveries, whatever. I don't even know. Bougie girl stuff. My sister was like, can I get an espresso? I would like a double espresso after dinner. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, we're bougie. And my mom is joking, calling us rich girls. And I just want to be like, you made us like this. You realize you made us like this, right? You definitely did. But hey, I'm not hating. I'm happy. I'm a rich girl. I've always been rich in my mind and my heart. It's just a little tidbit, little story. But no, so basically, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I was talking about embodiment. And I know, like, for me, like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to have it all. Even as a little girl and all of that. And, like, I just didn't know how I was going to be able to attain that. At a certain point, you're growing up, you're looking at the people around you, especially as a woman, looking at the other women around me. And, I just didn't see a lot of successful relationships, a lot of successful marriages. I didn't see, a lot of the things that, not at all. I definitely could see, like, I would say I have a few good examples in my family and just women that I knew, in my surroundings that I could look at and be like, okay, I like that. Like, I could see myself, wanting to have something like what she has, in this area or in that area. But I mean, it wasn't that much. And so I kind of just felt a little bit lost my whole life, kind of like trying to figure all of this out, right? And what I was searching for was the information that I teach on this channel and what I study to this day, which is all about feminine energy, feminine essence, being aligned in our feminine, and what that means. And it's just so amazing and so juicy when you are embodied and when you are living in alignment. Now, don't get me wrong, because I, like a lot of you guys, I'm out here, I'm doing things, I am working, I'm busy, I'm having to, deal with life stuff, a lot of the typical life things. But I'm growing and I'm learning at the same time, and I bring you guys along with me in that. And I think embodiment is honestly such a key in this journey. And if you want to see true success and true change in your life and in yourself, your self-concept, your your confidence, and even just what you're able to attract into your life, all of the abundance, all of the many blessings that are basically able to be unlocked and unleashed into your life. Oh, that sounds so amazing. Oh, I love that. It comes from embodiment, and embodiment in who you are, who you know that you are, your self-love, what you know you deserve, um, you know, understanding your true worth and value, and just being embodied in so much love and so much, self-love. And even, when you are doing kind things to people, they will see your heart, and it's coming from that overflow. And I was actually talking about this at dinner as well. Giving from your overflow feels so good. Giving out of obligation feels so yucky and just like, oh, I'm resentful, like I don't really feel good about this, and we never want to do that, right? But yeah, I will say that I just wanted to kind of come on, and I know I've been all over the place and a little bit on a tangent here and there, but hopefully it was fun to listen to and fun to watch. It's always fun going live. And embodiment. That's one of the key things that in my own personal new year, which, yes, I just had a birthday, and that was on the 15th. I don't know if I said that in the beginning of this video or not, but I did just celebrate my personal new year, and I've been doing a lot of reflection and a lot of kind of nailing down certain things that I really do want to improve, just as far as like myself in my own life. And embodiment is one of the things that one of the top 3 things that I really want to improve on in this year is just being more embodied. It's like I know all of the things, but to be truly embodied is a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother concept. It's a whole nother kind of step, to be embodied in a lot of the things and not having to explain so much. I think that's another thing that, we kind of tend to fall into a lot. I know I do. And I think it's just as women in our current day in society, just like explaining and over explaining. Yeah, we want to cut that out. We want to become more embodied in 2024, and for me in year 29. So not 30 yet. Not 30 yet. So we got some things we're working on. It's like that little reel. In the club with my twin, we be vibing. I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. All right. I am going to love you and leave you. Mwah! Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.